Fall 2014 changed my life forever. But before we even get into that, let's rewind it a couple of years before we even made it to fall 2014. Man, I attended college in Fremont, Nebraska. We didn't really have a lot of exposures to the D9 world, the D9 fraternities, sororities, or anything like that. So I was personally absolutely clueless to what a fraternity was. I seen Stomp the Yard.
Reveal yourselves! Pork chop, please introduce yourself. Pork chop, extra gravy. Brother Showtime, please introduce yourself. Knucklehead, please introduce yourself. Knucklehead.
You know, I seen what's the other movies? The School Days.
For the girls in the yard, yes. For the sissies, good God, yes. When I say gamma, you say fag, gamma, gamma. When I say gamma, you say fag, gamma, 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 gamma. Get back, or we'll kick your gamma ass. Or just get back, or we'll kick your gamma ass. Or just get back, or we'll kick your gamma ass.
Let's get out of here, fellas. Here we go.
Woo, woo, Daddy Longstroke. You can't smoke it. Woo, Daddy Longstroke. You can't toke it. Woo, Daddy Longstroke. Woo, 8 inches, come on, easy.
You know, I saw those movies, but even still seeing them, it didn't register to me what was going on. I was a kid. I remember like yesterday, my one of my best friends, he became interested in the fraternity in his sophomore year, so I was a freshman. And I remember him walking up to me, man, and he was just like, Kira, you know what I'm saying? Like, you trying to, you know, pledge essentially, or you trying to, you know, find out more about this fraternity. And me at that time, you know, I was very, I wouldn't say naive, but I was very just, bro, hell no, I don't know nothing about no fraternities. What you mean? And why you talking to me so secretly and secretive? Like, do you want to join some? No, bro, I don't want nothing to do with that. And you know, I saw him, you know, not necessarily go through his process, but I saw him throughout his process, and you know, he began to change. You know, he began to just get more serious. You know, he was a kind of a playful, lackadaisical type of dude. And I never forget his probate night. I've never seen a probate. I didn't even know it was black people in Nebraska. That was one of the first times that I knew that there were black people in Nebraska, a probate. Come to my guy's probate, and again, mind you, I'm seeing black women out the wazoo. Like, hey, like my interest is intrigued already, just seeing this vibe, you know, and black people just in general. Okay, man, I remember we showed up to the probate, me and my homies, we sitting on the first row, and my guy at the time, my dog, my best friend comes out. He was a solo, man. My hats off to you, solos out there. Yeah, my hat's off to you. So he comes out, he's a solo, and he looked completely different, completely reformed. You know, he came out, jacket unzipped, cut up, you know, head bald. I'm like, what in the heck? So my interest is intrigued, is peaking. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, who is this guy, my friend? And what the heck happened? And so, you know, he went through his probate, and you know, I essentially seen a different person, and I started, you know, from that moment on, communicating and reaching out to different bros and developing relationships with these guys. I know initially one of the main things that sparked my interest was the fact that, you know, we are individuals of like minds, and at the time we used to always play basketball. I was a big basketball player. I was very aggressive. I talk smack, I talk shit, like, and I'll go at you. And I met this group of guys that weren't fazed by, you know, my style of playing, and they actually, you know, took it to another level. So I was intrigued even more, because I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? They low key can make me better. So from that moment on, from my brother's probate to having these conversations with different individuals, I was interested. Yeah, I was ready to find out whatever it is that I needed to find out to become a part of this organization. And you know, it was a beautiful experience, because during that time, as I was more and more interested and I found out more, you know, I started to become a better student and a better man. You know, you have to have a certain GPA. You know, at the time I really didn't even care about my GPA. But the more I, you know, found out that I needed this GPA, I started pulling my grades up. I started carrying myself different. I started, you know, dressing up. I started wanting to be more involved, you know, on campus, you know, and like I said, all in all, just becoming a better man. From there, it took 3 very long semesters to reach 2014, fall of 2014. But boom, I finally had my chance. And before anybody, you know, comes out and tries to press the issue, first off, better yet, second off, I am the bros. Just in case someone tries to press the issue. Definitely the bros. Fall 2014 comes, and I also would like to put out there, Omega Psi Phi is a non-Asian fraternity. Just so you know, we don't Asian. So I went through my process. Now it's probate time. I'm in the same boat that my best friend was in years prior, and now I have this opportunity to almost, essentially follow in his steps. I had a amazing team around me as far as my LBs, as far as my immediate ADP, my DP, very great guys. It was also very interesting. I will never advise to allow your best friend to be a DP or a ADP. My best friend was my ADP. I'm gonna just let that simmer. My best friend was my ADP. I love him to death. If I could go back and change it, he wouldn't be, but that's between me and him. But I enjoyed everything about it. Probate, man, it was amazing to finally reveal all of the hard work. It was amazing to finally reveal just a new version of myself in a sense. I didn't necessarily change. I was the same person before, but I ain't gonna lie, the brothers gave me an excuse to take my shirt off. As you can see, I definitely enjoyed taking my shirt off. I worked out a lot, track dude, whatever the case may be. And, everything was amazing. You can say everything was, beautiful on the other side. Everything was, just what I imagined it to be. I used to just watch probates all the time. I used to just watch these different bros and everything, and it was everything that I could imagine. But then the real world kicks in, All right, need a second here. Oh, man. By the way, if you ever need energy, Kickstart's the way to go. So as I stated, the real world kicks in. Me, during that time of the real world kicking in, now I'm on the other side. I am, some of my friends would, describe me as, I wasn't who they knew me to be. I definitely became lost in the party scene. It was amazing, man. It was fun. But I think I personally got so caught up in the partying that I let it overshadow the work that also comes with becoming a part of an organization. I got so caught up in the partying that I allowed it to affect personal relationships, outside of the organization. And I truly believe that I got so caught up in the partying that it affected relationships inside the fraternity on many levels. I was raised to be respectful. In order to receive any type of respect, first you must give it. And I've never been disrespectful. I've never really I've never disrespected anybody. It's just not in me. But I think that my focus and the lack thereof of being able to switch that focus, like I said, affected relationships with other individuals who had this idea of what I should be and what I should be doing. Along with it affecting those relationships, I feel like it affected the way people interacted with me. It affected how, people looked at me. I think it also affected how people treated me respect-wise. And this is not a shot towards I don't want anybody to watch this and feel like I am shooting shots at my fraternity, because I'm not, because this is a general population thing, but because I feel like I have such a close connection and a close relationship, or lack thereof, with my fraternity brothers. That's what I'm specifically speaking on. It's definitely a difficult thing to come to grips with when you have a prior understanding that you're joining something and you believe that by you joining it, you're going to be fully embrace, flaws and all, amongst a mass of people. And like I said, this is a general population thing, but more specifically within my fraternity, that's not the case. I do feel like individuals who are different, I feel like individuals who, express themselves different are not necessarily cast out, but they aren't embraced the same. And I can only speak from my personal experiences, my personal feelings. I've seen it, I've been through it, and I'm man enough to admit that it did affect me, emotionally and physically, because of my understanding of what I was coming into. My understanding was that no matter what goes on, mind you, I have certain individuals who have been there for me from 2014 on all the way through, but in the totality of what I envisioned it to be, that's not the case, And like I said, I don't want you to receive this message and say, oh my God, I don't want to be a part of that, or oh my God, they're this, or oh my God, they're that. And nah, because you have people that are part of your family who are the same way, but does that mean that you don't call them family anymore? You have friends, who are the same way. Does that mean you don't call them your friends anymore? So, like I said, I'm really just sharing my experience and shedding light on, things that any individual goes through, in an everyday situation. If there's any advice that I could give anybody that, may feel like because they believe things different, because they see things different, and because they have the courage to express that, but they aren't necessarily being accepted by whomever, man, to hell with it. It doesn't change anything. At the end of the day, I'm still going to be who I am. At the end of the day, I'm still going to be a part of what I want to be a part of. And regardless of how anybody feels or responds or acts, that's not going to change that. And I tell you the same thing, like, take it with a grain of salt, You can do the same thing I'm doing. I've never been able to really vent and talk to individuals in my immediate circle, fraternal circle, about how I personally feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm always met with some type of pushback. It's never like, dang, I feel you. Dang, I understand. Dang. And I know it's not like I'm an alien, like I'm speaking something that's foreign, like I'm from a different country. Like I'm a very studious and aware, wise old owl individual. I sit back and listen, I sit back and watch, I pay attention, and I see there are a lot of individuals that deal with the same thing, but we just, for the sake of whatever, we just keep it bottled up. I'm not that individual anymore. If I personally feel some type of way, if I personally am going through something, I have created a platform where judgment free, that should be okay. And to anybody out there going through anything, however you feel, and if you want to speak about it, take it from me. Let it out. Because if you don't let it out, it's just going to keep bottling up. And then it's going to really start to show and affect you. And then it's going to start to affect relationships. And you're really not going to be who you are or who you want to be because you're bottling that up. I guarantee you, I'm going to be every bit of everything outside of Harkira Hardy for speaking on what I'm speaking about. Trust me, you will see, but at the end of the day, I'm not worried about that because what matters is what I can control. What matters is how I personally feel. What matters is just being okay with who you are and understanding that your words are powerful, your thoughts are powerful, and that you are somebody, and it doesn't matter regardless of what situation you find yourself in. You are the most important thing. So I hope that, through my experiences and through my testimonies and my stories, that it can touch you and give you strength to open up, give you strength to keep pushing, give you strength to keep, moving on, and in hopes that it can touch and move somebody else. So that's what it's all about. I appreciate y'all listening, and this is another episode of the Not Your Average Success Story movement. I am a Q. Quick shout out to my LBs, man. You talking about a great group of guys. I mean, it wasn't anything but two. But these individuals were pretty much my first introduction to the Omaha culture. They embraced me, this young Mississippi dude, shit talker, just different. I wasn't necessarily cocky, but I was different. I was definitely a lot to get used to. But they embraced me like they knew me my entire life, man. My ace set the pace. Like, he's always literally been a leader to me. Like, coming up and seeing him and seeing how people interacted with him, my ace literally single-handedly damn near sold out a whole party by himself. We had, I think it was our first party offline. And because of who he is and the pool that he had, man, he was able to fill up the whole venue with people from two different cities. That speaks volumes to him, man. He just, it's so much I can say about dude. Bro put a roof over my head when I didn't have a roof. Bro really allowed me into his comfortable space, man, and I'm forever indebted and forever grateful for him, man. My Trey, the rock of my line. Shout out to my dog, man. Super intelligent. He's one of the accounting bros. he's always, it was very cool seeing his transition. He started out real shy. He had confidence, but he didn't have the confidence that he has now. But just watching him find himself, watching him literally just become the man he is. He's if you know my Trey, he's funny. He is who he is, and he is A-okay with that. But he loves, his family. He does anything that he can for any individual, that will request, his help. If he's available, he will be there. And man, like I said, both of those guys, just from how they are, just to the core, have impacted my life so much, man. Like, I remember, some of those hard days and me just really just wanting to just say, forget everything. It took a combination of both of them, really pulling my head out my ass and really just, picking me up and letting me know that, hey, it's gonna be okay. So man, I am forever indebted to those guys, because they literally unlocked something in me that I didn't think I had. And if it hadn't been for them, I don't think I would be able to be sitting here right now, sharing this with you guys, because those guys really pulled through for me and for us, and like I said, I just wanted to give those guys a quick shout out and let y'all know and let them know, and they already know what it is, that I love them, and I'm thankful for them every day. I'm thankful for this opportunity, the opportunity that I was blessed with to even get to know them even more, because there's not many situations that you are presented in this fashion to, become a part of someone else's life. So I'm forever thankful for that opportunity. So shout out to my dogs, man. Y'all know what it is.